Hello, everyone, and welcome to another NintendoFuse GameChat. Today, we're talking all about Super XYX for the Nintendo Switch. So, Super XYX is a shmup, a vertical shmup, and fair disclosure, it's from eShop, and they did provide us review code, so thank you very much. So, this shmup has 6 vertical scrolling stages, and it very much bullet hell. There's multiple pilots. There's multiple unlocks in terms of player characters as well as game modes. There's obviously score multipliers, and there's several options you can choose to make the game either easier or harder, including multiple lives and multiple continues. But it is a bullet hell shmup, so you really have to prepare for that challenge. But let's go to you, Steve. What's your experiences?
Yeah, I'm a big shmup fan, as we've talked about multiple times on our podcast, on game chats in the past as well. But in general, it's a pretty game, and I kind of had fun with it. That's how I kind of summarize my thoughts. It is frustrating and because it is like you said, it's you're constantly trying to dodge all of these shots that are coming for you and still get it in there, but you're throwing a ton of firepower at them as well. But all this stuff is going on the screen at the exact same time. You're trying to collect upgrades to your guns, and all of this is a little too much at times. And even when I went into the easier setting and go arcade, I was like, okay, I'm going to build up to it. It starts ridiculous, like from the very beginning. It's crazy. You said multiple pilots. There's only 2 options. I've not unlocked. I played quite a bit of the game, like progressed pretty far. I've not unlocked any other pilots. So I only got the one that shoots directly up and the one that shoots at the angles. And that's all I've gotten so far. So if there's more to unlock, cool, but I've not done it yet. I've realized that the angle one is the one I prefer, because like I need those shots to go out to the side because that's usually what's happening. Also, really interesting. I don't know if this was by design, but I've noticed that if I'm just playing like a traditional shmup and I'm just like trying to dodge each one of them, I will get shot. Something will come out of nowhere and it's going to kill me. But if I am continually strafing back and forth, somehow I feel like I'm like dodging them or repelling them or something happens. So how I've been traditionally like or playing most of the time is just weaving back and forth the entire time and just holding down the shoot button, weaving back and forth. And I've progressed through the game a considerable amount that way rather than playing it a more traditional way of actually like shooting when I need to and dodging things on the way. Just weave and shoot. And that's how I've made it through the majority of the stages. So that's my experience.
Wow. Yeah, so I booted it up and I went into that like arcade, let's go, default settings, and I got my ass handed to me. And one of the there's like no downtime. Like when you come back, like the invincibility time is next to nothing.
Yep.
And I've lost lives like back to back instantly. Also, there are some enemies that will come from above, and there's no warning signs that they're coming from
Yeah.
above, and they will just land on you and instantly kill you out of nowhere,
Yep.
especially your first few times where you have no idea what's happening. Um, it took me a while, and I almost quit. I was like, I can't even beat the first stage. This is insane. So I went to the difficulty, and I was already on the easiest. It starts on the easiest. So I was like, all right, so I can't make it easier. So I upped my lives to 5 instead of 3, and I didn't touch continues. I was like, let's just see what happens. We have 3 natural continues. And after a few times of playing the first stage, I got to the boss, and I was able to beat the boss. I was like, oh, okay, let's go. But now I entered the second stage with 1 life or whatever, and I died.
Right.
So I continued, and I get the second boss, and I beat it. I was like, oh, cool.
Did you beat the second
So,
boss without dying?
well, I know I died,
Okay.
but I didn't use all my lives.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Second boss was the
But I
most
beat,
annoying to me because
yeah,
it shoots those green things just out of nowhere,
out of
just all of a
nowhere,
sudden,
out of
boom, you're
nowhere.
dead.
No, no, no.
Like,
I
how was I
definitely
supposed to dodge
died.
that?
But I beat it, and then I got to the third stage, and I got to the boss there, and the boss actually killed me. But I was out of continues because I only set 3, so I was like, all right, I think I know what I'm getting to, but let me see what happened. And of course, um, I got points to unlock stuff, and practice mode unlocked, and I was able to practice the first 2 worlds or first 2 stages, but I couldn't practice the third stage, even though I got to it. And I thought that was weird. Like I would figure practice would work on any stage you go to,
Hmm,
not any stage you beat. Because once you've beaten it, at least you've beaten it. But you need to practice in order to beat something. That's
right.
like master this musical
Yeah.
song, whatever song you want, and then we'll let you practice it. No, let me practice it in order to master it. So that was a weird thing. Like I feel like practice should have been from the start, and level 1 should have been there. So at least practice it. Although there's kind of a moot point in practicing level 1 because you could just start the game, but it was just weird. And I noticed there was a bunch of different unlocks and different modes to unlock. By playing more, so I didn't unlock any of the other characters, but there was a lot of extra stuff. I will say though, this game, while I did have fun with it, it was way more difficult than I was expecting it to be. Like I played some crazy bullet hells. I've beaten Ikaruga, and first for example, but this was far more difficult. Even though the stages are shorter, I one thing I did notice is the enemies outside of like when they would land on you. I feel like I was able to fly over the enemies no problem. It was just their
Yeah.
bullets that had to kill. And
Yeah.
when I realized that, I felt it got easier because in my head it was like I got to dodge the enemies and their bullets.
Mhm.
And then when I'm just dodging bullets, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that makes it a little easier.
Yeah. I noticed that by accident as well.
Yeah,
All of
by
a sudden I was
accident.
like, oh no, I'm still alive. Okay. Cool. Yeah, but I still think it's interesting that I've dodged most of it just by weaving back and forth. I'm like, I know that it should be hitting, which is interesting, and that I want to. You have an option, and there's lots of different options on here in this
There
game
is.
that you can turn on, and one of them is to show the hitbox, which I thought
Yeah,
was
that was cool.
interesting. I haven't turned it on yet because I was interested, like, in finding out, like, okay, if I turn that on, will it show me that I am actually not getting hit? Because I swear I am getting hit when I'm dodging, when I'm just weaving. But at the same time, I'm like, there's so many things going on the screen at that time that I'm not going to be able to tell. If I actually watching that, I'm going to get shot. So I don't really know why I need to turn this thing on anyway.
It's
But
nice
it
that it's
is
there though.
interesting that it's there. Yeah.
Well, the again, the game comes out here on October 23rd. It is $9.99 right now, full price, not on sale. Based on how much experience you've had with it, and your thoughts, is it worth it at $9.99 for shmup fans? Is it worth it for non-shmup fans? Is it something you wait on a sale, pass entirely? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna say if you're not a shmup fan, just avoid this altogether. But if you're a shmup fan, especially of this style of shmup, um, maybe maybe you might like this. It is a pretty game. It is if you're up for the challenge, then it might be fun for you. If you're wanting something like that, it's not. I mean, it's a short game, but there's a lot to unlock, and there's a lot to you always get better, and there's leaderboards and all those different things that are kind of improve the replayability there. Um, but I also tend to think that there's better games out there. So if you've only got $10 and that's you've got like I want to buy the best shmup out there for $10, this isn't it. But but if you're like I buy a lot of these games and I think I'm going to enjoy as many as I can, sure, spend it. Maybe wait for a sale, but I don't know. It's kind of in that 50-50 range, like depending on where you are with this kind of genre. I feel like if you're actually going to enjoy it, almost to the point of like you'll know if you're going to enjoy this game or not based on what you know about this game and what we talked about. If this sounds fun to you, go for it. But if this sounds like horrible experience, avoid it at all cost.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that. I think if you're a shmup fan and you're looking for a challenge, then yeah, this is hands down worth it. There's enough unlockables, there's definitely enough challenge. that I think you'll find enjoyment out of it. Like you said, the leaderboards add to it, and it's not just about beating a stage. It's about beating a stage with the highest score, and obviously beating it without dying. Is the ultimate goal. On top of killing everything. If you're new to shmups, this game will probably turn you off to shmups because, like I said, like I booted it up and I played plenty of shmups and I died relatively quickly, about halfway through the first stage, and I was like, "Wow, I did not expect that." And again, that was on the default, which is the easiest setting. So without an easier setting, I think this is going to be a turnoff to newer shmup fans or people unfamiliar with the genre. But if you do enjoy bullet hells, then yes, it's worth it. And if you're curious, but you're not sure about it, then I would say wait for a sale. But any final thoughts you'd like to say on the game, Steve?
No, we're just thankful for eShop giving us a chance to play it, and I'm going to keep giving their shmups a chance. But yeah, if we keep getting ones that are incredibly difficult like this, I don't know.
Well, once again, thank you again, eStageosoft, for the review codes. It is $9.99 on the eShop right now, and again, it comes out October 23rd, 2024. And if you enjoy content like this, like our game chats, as well as stuff like our industry talks and our podcast, please subscribe to Nintendo Fuse on YouTube, as well as NintendoFuse.com for all our content. Thank you so much for joining me today, Steve. And until next time, see you around.